My name's Andrew Willans, lead game designer for Valkyrie.
I know it takes place in the EVE universe. Does it fall into the storyline of EVE Online, or is it its own standalone?
It's its own standalone story, basically. So there's EVE Online, and there's a really rich and deep and established pedigree there. You know, they have their fantasy and they've created this amazing world, and we're in that world, but we are like a separate story. We're at a different time and a place. But it's cool because it means that, you know, we can use a lot of assets and environments, you know, the type of thing you would see in EVE Online, and then bring it to a different audience. They see a lot of ships and they know exactly where they've come from. You know, at the end of Convoy, which is one of our recall kind of single-player missions, there's a huge Titan that warps in at the end, and that's a really familiar ship to EVE players. Yeah, I think, well, primarily the backstory for Valkyrie is for Valkyrie. You know, so when you play some of the offline content, you know, scout missions, which just basically allow you to fly around an environment and just enjoy flying without being shot. There's lots of like hidden audio logs, so they're kind of, when you listen to those, they give you a little bit of the backstory of the map that you're playing on, and a bit about the incidents that have happened, you know, in the Valkyrie timeline, in the Valkyrie story. And we have recall missions, which are kind of self-contained missions, and they fill out a bit of the backstory as well. So you get to see things from different perspectives, and the fantasy for that is that, you know, when you recover the DNA from these dead pilots, that you can reconstruct their memories and relive them in VR.
And what inspired the team to move to VR from what you guys were used to?
Yeah, it was started initially by, there's a very small team, it's like a 5-man team in Reykjavik, and they wanted to basically put the players in the cockpits of the ships that they were using in EVE Online. And so, you know, they were really early adopters and pioneers for VR, and they took that concept and, you know, did it on Oculus DK1, and then, you know, I think CCP realized that, you know, there was a real kind of, there was a real reason why this should exist. It was incredibly compelling, it was immersive, and then they funded it to become, you know, a proper project and become its own thing. And so throughout the course of development, you know, we in the studio were getting DK2s, and then Oculus Final kits and Morpheus at the various stages of development, and Vive. So it's been really cool. The hardware suppliers have kept us with a sweet supply of toys which adorn our desks and help us make the game. At its heart, it's competitive multiplayer VR combat, and it's, you know, 2 teams, 8v8. Best team wins. The idea is to drain the other opponent's clone resources, you know, to 0. But that's not all we have. We do have some offline modes. We have some recall missions, which are those small self-contained kind of missions which give you some narrative. We've got scout mode, which allows you to play any level and look for loot crates, and also for hearing some echoes, which give you some of the story. We've got a survival mode where you just kind of take any ship you own, and it's a bit like horde mode, you know, increasing waves of AI that you fight off. And then we've got training modules, which kind of teach you the mechanics and the features which you'll use in multiplayer. But we also made the decision to put in a co-op mode, which is basically, it's the same as the online experience, but against AI. So we kind of matchmake the teams, so it's just humans versus AI, and that's a really cool way for people to just kind of go in there without the pressure of feeling, you know, competitive game. And the progression system is exactly the same. So if you go in there with some of your buddies and you kind of like make a squad and you go into co-op, you're all going to progress at the same rate as you do in normal multiplayer. So the XP that you earn from the battles, the salvage that you pick up, and the silver which you earn as a reward, you know, which help kind of your crafting loop. So as you're getting ships and upgrades, it all feeds into the same system. So we don't make a distinction between co-op and competitive multiplayer. Next year is going to be a big year for us socially. So I'll leave it at that. Obviously, the content you've played today is the gate crash update, and that's basically dropping in the new sweet map that you've just played. Pilot customization with like over 2,000 combinations of helmets, suits, and colours, and all kinds, and also PlayStation Pro support. So you know, something everyone's been crying out for since the PS4 Pro launched. So yeah, it's a pretty hefty update.
Hope you get to enjoy some of PSX.
I will.
Thank you for taking the time to speak.
Thank you.